expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboard, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk in the Street Sports, man. What's really good? You know what I'm saying? This is a great day. Beautiful day outside. I hope everything is going well where you're at. You know, it's about 2 in the afternoon, right? And this is in the Street Sports, Game Changer Sports Talk with DeeTrynt. All right, streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at InDaStreetzSportz or at DeeTrynt. Also, if you missed the live recordings, the live streaming, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. But this is what we here for, man. We in the streets, we thugging. You know how it is in the streets. We all talk about these sports, man. I mean, those that care, you know. We talk about these sports, man. And we can say for the whole stretch of the 2000s, we done had some beautiful basketball. Like, if you really just think about what's done happened basketball-wise from 2000 to 2023, the NBA has had 2 strikes. One to start off the millennium. And then you had the Spurs win all 5 championships. Kobe and Shaq won they 3-peat. Kobe got his 2. Shaq got his other one. Wade got his. Dirk got his. You know, who else then got? Kawhi then got one. Durant, Warriors dynasty then came. LeBron's run then came. You know what I mean? It's been the 2000s of basketball have been amazing. All right, to say the least. We've had a lot of tragedies, you know what I'm saying? A lot of crazy things that happen. But you know, you gotta take the good with the bad, right? You know, that kind of gives everything its meaning and its depth when you take the good with the bad. But we here for the debates, man. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you seeing the stream from,
Yeah, we might
what's
have to
good, bro?
get that share on before we get this one going, because you already know this is a debate for real.
Yeah, that's what I was. Look,
Even just talk
I
shit.
just picked up my phone. Yeah, we got a hot button topic to disseminate. Hold on. How I'm doing this? How am I doing this? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Now, let me do this the other way, right? Because I always be sharing it from there, and I need to start sharing it from. Hold on. Let me see which one of these get the Boca. All right, yeah. So I got it. So yeah, man. We you know, we got Browns on the topic today. We got NBA playoffs on the topic today. We have how do I even word this? LeBron versus Curry debate today. And this debate right here, boy, this is, if you ever talk about hot button topics, boy, this right here is the topic. Whereas so yeah, I see it already. So why it ain't no, oh, I might have to go to the, why my phone be doing that? Don't you hate when your phone just don't act like it wanna be doing what it's supposed to be doing when it's supposed to be doing it? Ain't these supposed to be smartphones? You know what I'm saying? How these smartphones be acting so retarded? You know, the game last night, we had Boston versus Philly, um, game two, second round, semifinals, Eastern Conference playoffs. You got the number 2 seed um, versus the number 3 seed. And the way they talking, any one of these could go to the finals. Now, me, I personally would have liked to have the Browns up there. I mean, I said the Browns, the Cavs up there. Excuse me, I don't know why I said the Browns. I'd like to have the Cavs up there. You feel me? But I think ultimately it should be Philly. Um, it's the James Harden factor for me. Me personally. I'm not saying like I'm like one of the biggest fans of him. I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of good players. Do I have certain players I prefer to? Of course. But even with that being said, you know, I think James Harden deserves a chance to be playing in the finals. Just like I feel like Chris Paul deserves a chance to be playing in the finals. Unfortunately, though,
How many finals?
we'll get to Chris Paul in a
How many
second.
finals?
But
Harden been in. Harden been in one before or two, right? I know. I know he been
Harden been to one. He
one. That's when
went
they
to
was baby,
one with the Thunder,
with the Thunder when they was
and
little baby.
then when they was loaded, when they had all the youngest, and it was Russell Harden was coming off the bench with Durant, um, Collison, Serge Ibaka, um, Cephalosha, Reggie Jackson. Uh, yeah, they had a little squid out. I ain't gonna hold you. They had a fire little squad. Um, but yeah, so I want to see Embiid in the finals. Ultimately, I think for just how, if they trying to go into the next era of who gonna be the best or try to be the face of the league, or even just to get big men back on the map as far as basketball terms. I think Philly versus Denver is the finals for that. Me personally. You have a conference finals of the East. You will have a Embiid versus Miami. So that'll be a hot button topic for that series. Then you get to the Western Conference, and you ultimately have LeBron versus Denver. Um, I guess it's LeBron versus Denver is my preference, or LeBron and AD versus Denver is my preference. Maybe they might want Golden State and Denver just to say that it's the end of an era for Golden State, you know, uh, and Denver is now the newcomers, and then you get to the finals and you have the debate of you know Jokic versus Embiid when it matters. You know what I'm saying? And I think ultimately that's kind of what they want. But for me though, I think Boston is a really good team though. Don't get me wrong. Like I like Boston, but I felt like they don't make the right decisions, right? They are literally one piece away from being probably a powerhouse. And they just for some reason just can't find them a stretch four. And that's really what this is about with Boston. They just can't seem to find them a stretch four. They finally went for Gallinari, but I'm just like, bruh, y'all could have as many draft picks as they've had. They could have found them a stretch four that they could have developed. It's been guys that came out that they could have developed. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, guys they could have got, and you know, but hey, but ultimately though, last night, Joel Embiid, congrats to him. He is the new MVP of the league. He chose to play last night, which I definitely don't understand why he chose
That's
to play
probably
last
why.
night.
That's probably why
Um,
he was talking that I play and shit. So I think he felt like he had to play, but like I said earlier when we was off, I don't think he should have played. I think they should have just let this game do what it do and play how it play out, and he come back home. But hey, but I know he just had a conversation. He was talking about like he need to play type shit. So I don't know. I guess he felt like he needed to play. And could have been the media getting to him. You know how they always say he could have played and should have played. So you know, maybe it was time to trust the process this time for real.
no, I think it was more of him than it was the team, because of his hurt narrative, right? So if he don't play, then the narrative, regardless of how it plays out, it's possible that the narrative is, oh, he don't care about winning no championships. He only played so he could win the MVP, and once he get the MVP, he play. And you know how it be, man. There don't be no consideration for the fact that he literally limped out the last series. So he tried to give it a go. You can only play him so much because you can't risk injury, but he did try to give it a go. He was impactful on defense. So even though he didn't play, you've seen why he is MVP. You got a glimpse of why this man is so, why he is him this year over everybody else. Um, so now the narrative is, should he have played? Is Philly making the right decision? So I felt like he personally made the right decision because now the spotlight not on him in a negative light. And you know how the media try to play stuff when they fishing for juicy headlines. But should have Philly had played him, woody woody why? It don't got nothing that now you're not questioning whether he want to win a championship or not. Knowing he was hurt, you know what I'm saying, getting his MVP award, he suited up and tried to give it a go. He only played so many minutes, but he did score a couple buckets. He was impactful at both ends of the floor. What more can you ask for? So if he don't get to play the first game at home, now the narrative is, again, should he have played? But it won't be, is he have a desire to win? And that's the narrative you just don't want. That's the one that's hard to shake. It take a lot of players years to shake the narrative. Is he trying to win a championship? Hold on right quick, y'all. Yeah, though. So, but Boston, Philly, 1-1, going to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully everybody is healthy to play. It should be like 3 days before their next game. So hopefully those extra days off helping and you get to see, how this series really gonna shape. Um, I guess Philly might pull it off. I don't know. I don't really know. I got to toss up on this series. It could go either way. I just would prefer Philly to advance, and that's no knock on Boston. I just would prefer Philly to advance. But tonight we should have Knicks Heat, Lakers Warriors. Right? Knicks Heat. Listen, it's funny how when the Knicks beat the Cavs, it was the Cavs soft. Now, the Cavs, I mean, the footage don't lie. So we ain't gonna even have that debate. But it's just funny how we went down 4-1, but we knew that our team was inexperienced. We knew our young guys had never played really at this level to see what it was really like. And for the first time, and this is what I like about it, for their first time in the playoffs, they came in as a top 4 seed, so they know they have the ability as a core to be a top 4, a top seed in this conference or in this league, just as the core is right now. Then you also know that okay, when they get to the playoffs, they really ain't, but so many of them have been here and they understand what it takes to actually win on this level, the type of conditioning, the type of mental capacity it takes, the type of hunger it takes, the importance of your bench and role players. And this is even down to, oh, Cal, I appreciate that. He say New York and Miami resume on Saturday. They doing one game a day to keep NBA alive. Do one. That's smart. Okay, I appreciate that. So that's cool. But so the Cavs, they got the inexperience. You know what I'm saying? They ain't been here before, but they do know that they can get here. And on top of that, you playing a hungry New York team who got something to prove. I keep saying this, man. If the New York Knicks lose to the Cavs, the way the Cavs lost to the Knicks, if the Knicks lose that series and it don't go 7 games, everybody in New York is under scrutiny. Julius Randle might get traded. Okay. Tom Thibodeau's getting fired. Okay. Like Mitchell Robinson might not have a job. Like it is a lot of things that could have really went in a negative direction for New York had they not won that series. People don't want to talk about that, and they'll probably say, "Oh, if was a fifth and all that." But whatever the case, it still remains that's true. Now, getting to what led me to this in the first place, in this New York and Miami series that resumes on Saturday, they lost their first game at home to Miami, who don't have Oladipo or Tyler Hero. Jimmy dropped 40. They barely won the second game at home. Jimmy didn't even play. It was all role players and Bam Adebayo, right? It's crazy, right? So, but Cleveland, when Cleveland won their second game, won game 2, they blew New York out. And it was only 2 of our players really hitting that game. And that was LeVert and Darius Garland. There's only 2 players hitting. But now they going to Miami because New York was the 4 seed and they had home court advantage because Miami beat the number 1 seed, Milwaukee, if you didn't know. And Did you see the look Jimmy Butler had at the end of that New York game? Did you see the look on Jimmy's face? Bro, I gotta give Jimmy Butler his prop, bro. He is an assassin. Like, Curry is an assassin shooting the ball, right? His ability to shoot the ball from anywhere, from half court and whatever, is such a threat that everything else is open.
Hey,
Jimmy
Jimmy
is
always
just
had the
a
dog in
straight,
him.
yeah, like,
Because
listen,
we had to play him a lot. When he was on them Bulls, and like he
right,
always had it in him. Like he had it since he came in the league. He had that. I'm a dog. I will take this bitch over if I got to.
right. And listen, man, Jimmy Butler is an assassin, just period. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really got to start having a conversation of if Jimmy Butler one of the top 5 best players in the league right now. Like, that is a real discussion. That's not, oh, we just no, bro. Every playoff that he has been the man on, he has shown up, whether his supporting cast shows up or not. Miami, shout out to Pat Riley, decided to build around that. I keep saying, if Dame go anywhere, he should go to Miami. I just flat out. If Dame, Jimmy, and Bam Adebayo on the same squad, don't get me wrong. I think if Kyrie went to Miami, they'd be fired. But Dame time, like, and Jimmy, but Jimmy about to go home to Miami, and they are about to destroy New York. Jalen Brunson gonna bring it. I think Obi Toppin blossoms in these next couple games. I think Julius Randle gonna show up smart enough. He is in his bag enough to play them guys. It is going to be hostile in Miami. It is going to be bonkers in Miami. Because Miami had already been to a finals, and we literally could be looking at the bubble rematch, right? People put so much of an asterisk on that bubble championship. You can't put an asterisk if it happens this year when Embiid did won finals. They won the MVP. And Jokic then won the MVP the prior 2 years. And Giannis then won the championship since. Now, guess what? If Miami and LA meet back up in the finals, ain't no more asterisk. There's no more asterisk on the bubble finals. And not only that, everything the players said about the bubble is validated. What happened in the bubble? Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray went crazy in the first round series. Donovan Mitchell ultimately lost that series. Denver moved on. Was what happened this year. If I am mistaken, no, I don't think New York was in those playoffs. But LeBron had to go through his thing. It's just I feel like it's a few similarities, and I ain't do the research to do them all, but just on top of my head, I'm like, it's a couple few similarities. It's like, bruh, everything about the bubble and what happened has to now be validated if Miami and LA meet back up in the finals. That's just my whole basic thing. All right. Warriors, Lakers, game 2. I believe that's tonight, man. Let me make sure before I start running off at my motherfucking thumb.
It's tonight. It's tonight. I've been seeing what I'm placing my
It's
bet.
tonight. It is tonight. Yeah.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Yeah. All right. 9 o'clock on ESPN. All right. Eastern Standard Time. That's 9 o'clock. That's 6 out west. All right. LeBron versus Curry. Right. That's basically what this boils down to. Right. LeBron versus Curry. Right. Now, Max Kellerman said something very, very, very interesting. Hold on, y'all, right? But he said something very, very interesting about this debate that people just do not seem to want to bring up, right? And you know what? And on the side note, you know what make LeBron the GOAT? You know what make LeBron fire? You know what make LeBron head and shoulders above everybody else? It's the hate he receives. That's right, fans. That's right, folks. The haters that elevated LeBron's GOAT status. All right. Now, I watched Jordan and LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch Curry. You know what I'm saying? Curry was like my favorite player coming out of that particular draft. I watched all three, and that's when I was really heavy on college basketball. I watched all 3 years of him at Davidson. I was super high on Curry, dumb high on Curry. All right, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I was Curry fan for sure while he was in college. Only thing that changed what happened when he was in the NBA is that his team went against my home favorite team. You know what I'm saying? And my loyalty is my loyalty. It is what it is. Do I still like Curry? Hell yeah. Do I like watching him play? Hell yeah. But I also like keeping things in perspective, right? Now let's get back to it. Max Kellerman came out and had to really put the resume out there, right? When LeBron and Curry plays on an even playing field, right? Curry has never beaten LeBron. The only time Curry has actually beaten LeBron is when LeBron has been handicapped with his team or when he's had an OP team. But people act like this is invalid. People say so much about, oh, Durant don't get them championships without Curry, but don't want to put no emphasis on the fact that Curry don't get no more championships without Durant. Let me side note this again. My MJ got all his finals with Scottie Pippen. Anytime he's been to the finals, he has Scottie Pippen. LeBron, how many different people that went to the finals with LeBron? How? How many? And the biggest caveat about how people treat LeBron is they don't hold no other superstar to the standard that they hold LeBron to. They didn't even hold Jordan to the standard that they hold LeBron to. They want LeBron to pass the ball and then score off his own pass and then come down and steal it in transition and throw it off the glass and do a windmill and then come down on the next play and block it off the glass and then throw a full court pass for an alley hoop to a teammate. Like, damn, bruh. Like, you want LeBron to make the jerseys. You want him to make everything. Like, and people gonna say, oh no, he did that to himself. No, he didn't. He showed up to his job with his full skill set. Ain't that what you supposed to do when you go to work? When they pay you top dollar to come to work, you supposed to come with your whole bag of tricks. And or am I missing something? So, y'all asked him, said, hey, you the number one pick. Saved this struggling franchise. Did he not save the Cavs that was a struggling franchise? Did Curry save the Golden State Warriors? When have you ever heard somebody say that Curry saved Golden State? What's going on, Dollar? Appreciate it, for sure. Listen, never. LeBron has literally brought franchises back out of their dark ages. Okay? Cavs was in a dark age. Whatever semantics you want to say and dispute and do all that, LeBron single-handedly saved the Cavs franchise. LeBron going to Miami saved Pat Riley from getting fired. Pat Riley gutted a young team around Dwayne Wade, because people seem to forget this. He gutted a young team around Dwayne Wade, right? When he traded for Shaq and gave up Lamar Odom and Caron Butler, right? He gave them up. Brought in all these old guys, right? Dwayne Wade won a championship, but he only got the one. He stopped Dirk and that beautiful team from getting the ship. Put an asterisk on Dirk's career. Did we forget this? Remember, Dirk went down as a number 1 seed to a number 8 seed. Did we, just like Giannis just did we forget this happened? B. Diddy, Steven Davis, Jason Rich, did we forget this happened? Okay. And Miami had nothing. All they had was Dwayne Wade. That's why Walker was old. Jason Williams was old. Gary Payton was old. You forget all these people was on that team. All these older guys went there to win a ring with Shaq and D. Wade. This elevated D. Wade, even though they forgot LeBron was carrying the Cavs. People forget this. From 03 to 09, LeBron carried the Cavs. He carried them. Single-handed, he carried them. They literally went from the worst franchise in the world. They went from one of the worst franchises in the world to they got an unstoppable force, to multiple 50-win seasons with one bona fide superstar that was not even 24 yet. He did this at 18, 19, 20. Okay, I'm gonna give credit. I'm gonna give y'all 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Remember I said I got a closet full of LeBron. I just went in my closet and just grabbed this. Just opened up the closet. It's the first thing that's in there. When I say I got his whole career, I got, this was and this the conversation we on. But look, this was the first newspaper I just grabbed out my closet, bro. I got shit for this man since high school. I knew it.
Like, so understand, he carried the franchise. When have you ever seen Curry carry your franchise? I'm not downplaying nobody. I'm calling a fact a fact. When has Curry ever carried a franchise? Ever. Right? LeBron carried the Cavs. Everybody talk about what happened when he went to Miami, but don't nobody want to consider all the factors of how Miami got those players. Pat Riley was about to be fired as the GM for that franchise. Who was his coach? Was it Stan Van Gundy, I think? That franchise was in turmoil. But the Cavs, man, this just savvy work, bro. I don't knock Pat Riley for what he did, bro. It's savvy work. You had the Showtime Lakers. The Cavs don't got nobody in that organization at that time with even half as much cachet and pull as Pat Riley. Cleveland as a city don't got half as much appeal as Miami. Anybody from anywhere in the world know Miami. Sunshine and blue skies, baby. You feel me? Anybody know that? So they found, okay. Hold on, y'all, right quick. My fault, y'all. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, InDaStreet Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at InDaStreetzSportz or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streaming, you can always catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Wherever you viewing from, it should be a link in the chat. You can comment, speak, say whatever you want. If you feel like you want to come up and say your piece, come on up, man. This is what it's for, all right? Right now we're currently talking LeBron versus Curry, right? And what I've been highlighting is just things that LeBron has done, that Curry has done. And in the backdrop, when people talk about, oh, LeBron went and he had super teams, people fail to mention that he was in his 10th year in the league when that happened. Oh, I'm sorry. He was in his ninth year.
Finish talking about what you're talking about, but when you ready for me to bring up that Deuce post, my folks from New York, when you ready for me to bring up his post and talk about that, let me know. Finish
all right, bet. Oh, bruh.
What's up?
Put that on screen. That's what I'm talking about. Put that on screen.
I mean, that's what you're talking about.
Put that on screen
now. It's still like you in that lane right now, but it's still like you was getting into something else.
Okay, I feel you. I ain't got to. You right. That's crazy. He right. I ain't even got to 2014 yet. So, LeBron in his first 8 years in the league carried a franchise in a league that still had, when he got here, when the time he entered the league, right? Detroit's team with Ben Wallace and Big Shot Chauncey was in the league. Kobe and Shaq was a tandem still. Wade was in the league. Melo was in the league with Andre Miller. People forget that name. And Marcus Camby and Nene and that little squad over there in Denver with J.R. Smith, right? The Spurs dynasty, the Dirk teams, Paul Gasol, Kobe, them, that Indiana team that ended up being the Malice of the Palace, Paul George's emergence, Danny Granger, Chris Paul's emergence, Blake Griffin. All of these things that happen. This is just in the first 10 years of his career. It's in the first 2 years. I think Curry got on the scene in 2010, 08. Was it 08? 9? Well, he in his 14th year, so it's 09. Right? So by the time he got here, right? By the time Curry entered the league, right? LeBron had already carried the team out of the dark ages to one of the most doggish teams in the league. And he had already carried his team to a finals by the time Curry got here. Right? But I was speaking on how Bron ended up in Miami. I was referring to it anyway and I'm only referring to this because I just think about the different things people bring up when you say certain things. All right. Why did he end up in Miami? Because Pat Riley was desperate and he seen Cleveland as a weak organization business-wise. You cannot knock him for that. That is how business works. So he tampered. And he got Wade to get Bron and Bron to recruit Melo and Bosh. Melo ended up going home to New York, though. LeBron did the decision. But all of this in the background was orchestrated by Pat Riley. And LeBron gets all the flack for the decision because he's the face. But nobody crucifies Pat Riley for the super tampering job he did to put that team together. That's crazy. So again, this also falls under the line of y'all don't hold the other superstars to the same standard and scrutiny y'all don't hold LeBron to. I'm just making multiple points at one time. Just stay with me if you can, okay? So LeBron get to Miami. People hate him so much, but they soon forget. LeBron they exonerate Danny Ainge too. But Danny Ainge is a savvy businessman, though. I thought he was a coward as an NBA player. I ain't gonna hold you. I felt like he was weird. You know, the coward is probably a strong word to use, and I don't know that man personally, so I'm gonna retract that, and my apologies for that. But I'm just gonna say you was weird. You was super weird as an NBA player. You could shoot, but you was weird. But as a businessman, you a dog. You a whole genius. When it comes to getting the most bang for your buck, oh, you's a dog. I'm gonna get that. But Danny Ainge, LeBron, took the Cavs to the finals with that irrenewable team. That's probably not fair. Zagaus was on that team. Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes was on that team. Eric Snow. They was on that team. Don't get me wrong. Boobie Gibson, they was on that team. But like for real. So Danny Ainge say, oh, in order to stop LeBron, I got to get KG and Ray Allen over here with Paul Pierce. Y'all don't crucify Danny Ainge for fearing LeBron like that and having to make that move immediately following the finals. You don't talk about that tampering job, right? Again, y'all don't talk about Pat Riley's tampering job. Y'all crucify LeBron. LeBron didn't even win his first finals. You know why? Because Dirk Nowitzki needed redemption for losing with that beautiful 1 seed to the Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Jason Richardson 8 seed a few years prior. What we talk about? Oh, but they were supposed to win that. Oh, LeBron and them was supposed to, they supposed to win that. Bruh. Y'all act like Dirk Nowitzki wasn't on the team with Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. Hall of Famer, no, Vince wasn't on there. But Tyson Chandler probably is going to be a Hall of Famer. He was on there. Karan Butler was on there. Josh Howard was on there. Eric Dampier was on there. Jason Terry's a Hall of Famer. He was on there. Devin Harris was on that team. Now, are we forgetting how loaded Dirk Nowitzki's squad was? Do we forget conveniently? Oh, LeBron and them lost to that team. But they don't say Wade, LeBron, and Bosh lost to that team. They don't say Bosh, Wade, and LeBron lost to that team. They say LeBron lost to Dirk Nowitzki in that team. LeBron. Like, Dwayne Wade is totally exonerated from this equation. Chris Bosh really don't matter in this equation. But in the same token, y'all want to say he got a super team. So as a super team, why they don't equally share the blame? Super team? Why ain't a super team loss? Why is it just a LeBron loss? Curry lost the finals the same way LeBron lost the finals to him when two of his main stars went down. They got smoked. Y'all give Curry a pass for that. Y'all elevate Kawhi. But LeBron and them lose to Miami. That Miami team lost to dirt. Mind you, Pat Riley's off the hot seat now. Because he was able to acquire these guys and then elevated one of his bench coaches to head coaches in Eric Spoelstra, which was turned out to be a really great thing to do. But bro, if a guy who coached Magic, Kareem, James Worthy, a guy who played with various stars in the 70s, was your GM, look at that, another headline. If that was your GM, you don't think you'll become a better coach too? You don't think you'll elevate too? My bad, Joe. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz. We back. We live. Listen, this is Curry versus LeBron debate. All right. And for those who felt like I done jumped all over the place, I'm just trying to highlight when you compare one player to another, you're comparing their career stats, impact, influence, ability to show up when it matters, all these different things. You're comparing them side by side to each other, right? That's how you debate this, right? That's how you compare resumes, right? You take this guy's whole body of work and everything that came with it compared to this guy's whole body of work and everything that came with it. So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, I'm coming out of left field with all this old crazy talk. I'm only talking about things that you can go prove. I'm talking about things that you can go find. That is literally up for public consumption. All right? So, LeBron finally wins one. Right? Because he came to Miami. When he got to Miami, he said, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six. Right? Now, I want you to keep that in mind. Right? I want you, because people will try to blow that up. Right? Oh, LeBron said he was going to go not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. And then people will say, oh, but Miami only went to 4. That was a super team, though, right? But LeBron in Miami only went to 4. Not LeBron, Wade, and Bosh didn't hold up and they only went to 4. But they got to include the fact that Chris Bosh got a medical condition with his heart and he couldn't really play those last couple of years and be impactful like he really wanted to. They ain't gonna put that part in there, though, right? But y'all gonna mention Durant and Clay getting hurt and Dre going down, right? Hold on. I'm just hold on. Now, mind you, I started this off. I don't know how you jumped in or when you jumped in, but I started this off by saying, bro, Curry coming out of college was one of my favorite players. LeBron, I wasn't even a LeBron fan. We grew up in the exact same era. Literally had to go through the same things. So I truly understand his grind. That's why I got a lot of respect for not only what he's done, but what he's become. Because a lot of y'all ain't never been to Ohio. Y'all ain't never been to Cleveland. You don't know what it's like. Y'all talk about y'all areas, and I ain't saying it like it's different, but it's different. It's different. Most of y'all outsiders that do come to Cleveland, y'all leave immediately. It's different. It's just different. I ain't saying it's tougher or rougher. I ain't saying none of it. It's different. When you could come out of that and become what he has become, when you can come out of that, because Curry was down there too. Curry was there too. When you can come from that and can become what Curry has become, it just lets you know the type of work and grind you got to put in to make it out of the type of situations that we be born into in that area of this world. That's all I'm saying. You can see how overcoming, like the saying goes, if you can make it in Cleveland, you can make it anywhere. These are two shining examples of if you can make it in Cleveland, you can make it anywhere. And people will say, oh, well, Akron is 25 minutes away from Cleveland. Bro, Cleveland ain't but so big. That's what they don't tell you. What they don't tell you is that they don't treat Cleveland's big city the way they treat others' big cities. That's what they don't tell you. Even though when out-of-towners go out of town, where they tell you they from? Cleveland. They be from all these other little spots. But Akron and Cleveland is one in the same cities. Make no mistake about it. They not a lot different. The only difference is if anybody recognize any state, any city in that state, it's Cleveland. Unless you talk about Ohio State Buckeyes. And that's just how it is. But anyway, LeBron win his 2, right? Then he lose to Kawhi and the Spurs in them in the next one, right? And then he leaves Miami because Miami, Pat Riley's true colors started to show. Pat Riley did his job. He saved his franchise. He went to 4 finals in a row with a team he tampered to get. I'm just bringing these things up because when you talk about LeBron and you want to criticize LeBron, make sure you talk about the context surrounding LeBron and all the different factors of surrounding him at the time. He's playing for a franchise that does not know how to win. He's playing in a market that will never be big enough to publicize his greatness as it has been by being in Miami and LA. People always talk about maximizing your worth and then get mad at LeBron for what he's done over his career. You got to make it make sense. But the debate is LeBron versus Curry. Half the things I done brought up to this, I ain't even got to the stats yet. Half the things I done brought up already, Curry ain't never did. Never. Not even lightweight. All right? LeBron leaves the Cavs, goes to Miami. The Cavaliers are nothing when he leaves. Nothing. They're stuck with a bunch of dumb contracts that they can't get rid of. Right? The same thing happened to Miami, even though they still had D Wade. But guess who got blamed for that? LeBron. Not the GMs who sacrificed the future, Pat Riley, David Griffith. Not the GMs who are in control of actually signing off on things to go through. Not the owners who have to dish out the money to sign these things to go through. No, you blame LeBron. So you exonerate other cats from their positions. And as I'm bringing these names up, you could just decipher for yourself the similarities with all these names when LeBron gets all the blame and they get exonerated. It's all on LeBron, though. Oh, LeBron didn't do it. Oh, LeBron didn't do it. And all of this stems from the fact that not only was he a number one pick for his home state team, but he brought them out of the mud like he said he would. He exceeded. There is not a number one overall draft pick in any sport that has accomplished what LeBron has accomplished in his career. Name me one. Name me one number one overall draft pick in any sport, in any era, at any time that has accomplished what LeBron has accomplished. How many number one picks have you had in the history of sports? And none of them have accomplished what LeBron has accomplished. LeBron says, I'm going home. He say, Pat, you on some bullshit. I see what you on. I realize what you did. People like, oh, LeBron came home. I realized Brian, he realized what he did. Don't get me wrong. Pat Riley was right in a sense. He was right. Cleveland will never have the appeal that Miami have. They'll never be able to put together around you the team that they need to put around you. That was true. What wasn't said though was the fact that LeBron, you big enough to overcome that as an individual in your hometown state. And if you do stay and fight through it and put it up there like that, then you will be at such a high level, it would be insurmountable. That's what they like. LeBron could be the uncontested GOAT if he did everything he did and stayed in Cleveland. All right. But I'm only up to 2014 now. At this time now, Curry has been in the league 5 years. And in his first 5 years in the league, and like I say, man, I fucks with Curry. But in his first 5 years in the league, Curry was almost considered a bust as a lottery pick. Let's talk about it. He was almost considered a bust. He couldn't stay healthy. He wasn't carrying no team. Yeah, he was almost considered a bust. You feel me? But by the time we got to Curry going to his first finals, LeBron had already been to 5. He had already carried a franchise from the dark ages to one of the most respected. By the time Curry got to his first finals, LeBron had already been to 5. He had already won 2. He was already in a conversation with Michael Jordan as the GOAT. Would you ever put Curry in a conversation against Michael Jordan as the GOAT? Would you ever put Steph Curry in a conversation against Kobe as a better player? You'd get laughed at. But you can have a serious debate about Kobe and LeBron, but you could never have a serious debate about Kobe and Curry. You could never have a serious debate about Jordan and Curry the way you can have a serious debate about LeBron and MJ. Are you serious? Now, let's be Google it. Yeah, Google it. Yeah, check that out. Go ahead and Google it. Hey, Curry, when he finally got against LeBron in his first finals, he had a 73-9 team. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That was the next year. That was the next year. But his team had turned up. What happened in Golden State, and I'm just providing context as I go through this. What happened in Golden State was they had a guy by the name of Mark Jackson who was there. And Mark Jackson had a hand in drafting Steph Curry, a dynamic shooter coming out of college. He knew his father, Dale. Mark Jackson also knew Klay Thompson's father, who used to play for Pat Riley in that lake show, right? Back in the 80s with Magic and Kareem. Michael Thompson was on that team. He was one of the impact players on that team, a guy who could shoot, play defense, score, dunk. He was that guy. Mark Jackson had the vision. Hey, I'm going to put these two in the backcourt and let them shoot. And we're going to build this around them. The problem was Mark Jackson too heavy in his religion. He put God and Jesus in everything, and he brought it to work. Bottom line. He was a hard-nosed disciplinary with a Mark Jackson, arguably one of the best passers to ever play this game. Arguably when it comes to the definition of a point guard, he is definitely in one of those top discussions as a pure point guard. Mark Jackson. If you don't know, do your history. But he wasn't the image they wanted out there in Golden State, so they brought in Steve Kerr. And people forget, bro, Steve Kerr wasn't really never no great player like that. He was just a shooter. And that was the appeal. Steve Kerr had played, he didn't got championships with Michael Jordan. He didn't got championships with Tim Duncan. Steve Kerr played in Cleveland with Mark Price and Brad Daugherty. Steve Kerr has just always been a shooter. When you get the notion or people go with that thing of, oh, white boys can shoot, excuse my French for saying that, Steve Kerr is one of those guys who helps fuels that to be true. But in hindsight, too, Steve Kerr has played with a lot of great players. I just named a few. Most of the guys I just named are considered one of the best evers at their positions. Guys that he's played with, Steve Kerr. So that's why they brought him in. Because he's a champion. He knows how to win. And he knows how to get open as a shooter. And he failed in Phoenix. People forget how he failed in Phoenix and almost destroyed that franchise. And they had to get him out of there before they finally got James Jones in there. And he turned things around. People forget about he was failing. But he went on over and they gave him a coaching job. And he had already inherited a dominant team. It's not like Steve Kerr coached the team up and put the team together. Not like how J.B. Bickerstaff is doing in Cleveland. Steve Kerr never did that. He never did that. He inherited an already built prized possession.
And we was ready to win. If they wouldn't have got rid of my dog.
Monte?
Huh? No, I'm talking about Coach.
Jackson?
That was his machine already ready to go. You feel me?
Facts.
So they was gonna do their thing regardless. Kirk came in and shit, he had them already. They was ready. They was ready to go. They was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? We was getting over our what was it Live City we was beefing with? And I
Yeah.
think before Live City, I think we was beefing with it might have been Houston. You know what I'm saying? But we was getting over all our humps, man. I'm talking about the Warriors. They was getting over all our humps, man.
It was the Spurs, then James Harden, Houston, and the Clippers.
Yeah,
And
we was getting
and
over our
Memphis.
humps, man. It was
And
coming.
Memphis. Right.
It was coming. But like
No,
you
so
said,
and that's
what
it
you say?
mentioned that. Go ahead, bro. My fault.
No, what was you saying?
No, I was saying and mentioning that though, that's a plus for Curry though.
Yeah, and that's why like Curry, like I feel like to me, I feel like Curry carried them. I mean, like that's how I look at it. You know, just from my with the whole squad though, like just watching them, I felt like Curry. You know, Curry got him up there along with the splash, the whole splash. You know what I'm saying? Along with splash and like shit. When we had what was my boy Lee and all them, like I always feel like once Curry was healthy, I looked at Curry as like shit, like really the leader of that squad. When he first got there, I was happy, but I felt I was salty about my boy Monte. I thought they was like shit. I'm like, oh, Monte about to be gone now. But I always looked at Curry as really the leader of the squad.
So I done went on a long spiel about LeBron. I will pause it. Now that when he got to 2014, when they win their first finals, when Curry won his first final, his first time going, all right. But I would like to end the LeBron part at this section of the LeBron part at LeBron at this point is already the villain in the league. People don't want to say that, but that's at this point when LeBron meets Curry in the finals, he is the villain of the league. Now, to piggyback and further elaborate on some stuff bro just said. All right, DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming over the multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streaming, you can catch the replays on Spotify, um, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, and then you can subscribe there and then subscribe to Game Changa Sports Talk specifically. All right. So Curry gets to his first final. Curry in his first few years, you know, he had a little injury history, but that doesn't tell a whole story. Curry wasn't that big when he came out of college. He wasn't that he wasn't that bulky, like you feel me? Like you knew he had to grow into an NBA body. Let me tell you what he could do. He could already shoot from anywhere on the floor. He already had a handle. He already knew how to get open without the ball. This is stuff Curry already knew how to do coming into the league. And again, if you came in, depending on when you came into the debate when I was talking, when I first started, I said, bro, I watched Curry his whole 3 years at Davidson. That was my favorite player in college. All of this only changed when they started going against the Cavs because the Cavs is my home team. That's all this. That's the only thing that changed it. Once we wasn't in battle with them no more, I had no more beef with them. It's just that his rise came at a time where people were searching for anything to have but give LeBron his credit because he was touching a greatness that people didn't think was touchable when it comes to Michael Jordan. And I just want y'all to understand context matters, okay? But Curry, they built that team around Curry from the gate. Clay was brought in to help play with Curry because Clay could shoot and play defense. not that Curry can't play defense. It's not that he not smart enough to play. He not big enough. Now in his 30s, you know, he got grown man strength. Like, you feel me? He been doing this for years. Like, you feel me? So he better at it now as an older than he was as a youngin. He wasn't big enough. That's kind of like Darius Garland, right? Which is, something just clicked for me when I just said that. It's kind of like Darius Garland, right? For us Cavs fans. It's not that Darius won't play D. It's not that he's not assertive. It's just that you're not big enough. You're not strong enough. I don't care how good you can move. You're not long enough. So it's going to always be an issue for you in that area. It ain't got even nothing to do with your capabilities. It's just that you're not strong enough. And anybody who is not strong enough in the NBA and doesn't have super athleticism or great length in arms or height, it's hard to overcome being weak or not strong enough. I would say not strong enough. I think weak is a little too much of an attacking word, and I don't mean it like that. So I would say, not strong enough. All right. But Curry already had an IQ up to wazoo. Curry already had a handle. Curry came into the league with a handle that can get him open to get a shot. This is why Curry can pull from anywhere, off the dribble, without the ball, in transition, catch and shoot, off one hopper, off one hand. He was already built like that. He was been built like that. You feel what I'm saying? A guy who could shoot as well as anybody ever in history, but moves off ball like Reggie Miller and Rip Hamilton. A guy who can get his shot off the dribble like James Harden or Damian Lillard or Mark Price. People y'all not hip to. Or Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was a master at getting his shot off the jump, getting his jump shot off the dribble. You know what I'm saying? But Curry came in with all those as a shooter. So he already came in ready. You feel me? So they were smart to build the franchise around him. I was happy that they was building the franchise around him because I'm high on Curry. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? So being that Steve Kerr was a guy who made his career off hitting shots and threes, he had already had the scheme from Greg Popovich. He had the triangle from Phil Jackson. He had how to play a rotation of backcourt players from Lenny Wilkins. People forget that Lenny Wilkins is one of the best coaches ever in the NBA. So it was, the Warriors is a smart franchise. They built their team properly. They went through the grind of, I want to say, please don't quote me on every year on what teams, but I remember they had a scuffle with Memphis when they still had Conley and Gasol and Zebo in them. Then they had a run in with Portland. They had a run in with Houston. They had to run in with the Spurs. They had a run in with Chris Paul and the Clippers. All right. Now this is all from 2009 to 2014 to 2015. So Curry came in the league a winner. You know what I'm saying? He came in the league a winner. This is no knock on Curry. I like Curry. I'm a fan. I'm more of a Curry fan than I am a LeBron fan. But you gotta call a spade, bruh. You gotta call a spade. All right. When you compare LeBron to Curry, by the time Curry got to his first final, LeBron had been to 5. And a lot of the opponents that LeBron faced in those finals was teams Curry couldn't get past. Now you will say, oh, I ain't knocking Curry for not getting past them. Then we're loaded teams. It's not like I'm naming a scrub team. Then we're loaded teams. But then same teams that y'all give Curry a pass for not being the elevate pass at that time, y'all don't hold that same regard for those and that same respect for those teams when it comes to LeBron. So back earlier, I said the haters is what fueled the LeBron GOAT talk. Y'all don't even realize that. It's the haters. Because y'all don't hold the same standards for each superstar like you hold LeBron to that standard. It's really not cool, bro. So they get to the finals, right? And okay, now they face off. LeBron loses Love in the beginning. Then he loses Kyrie in the first game. They hold on right quick, y'all. Hold on, give me one. So, okay. Curry got his squad. Curry handled a business. This is what I don't want to get missed in the fact of LeBron Curry debate, Cleveland Warriors 14-15 championship. Okay. Curry did his job. He led his team. For anybody other than Curry to be named the leader of that team is disrespectful. Curry has been the leader of that team since he's gotten to that team. That team carries his mentality, his way of looking at things. And that should be highly celebrated. When they talk about Curry's impact on the game, that can be debated when it comes to LeBron versus Curry. Who had a bigger impact on the overall sport of the game of basketball? That can be debated. That is highly debatable. And I could argue Curry could possibly win that debate just because the whole way you play against or that people play basketball has drastically changed. For me, I gotta say that because that's one of the reasons that Peyton Manning is my GOAT in football, as far as quarterbacks go. Right? And I keep it specific as far as quarterbacks. Peyton Manning made everybody change the way that not only they ran offenses, but that they defended quarterbacks. He gave you a whole new spectrum of things to judge quarterbacks by the way he naturally played the game. So I give Curry that in the same regard, even though I don't consider him one of the best point guards in the league ever. I consider Curry one of the best shooters. I'm sorry. I consider Curry the best shooter ever in the league. I consider him one of the best scorers from shooting the ball in the league. Yes, he can lay the ball up. Yes, he can hit floaters. But if you know anything about basketball, all of that is part of shooting. Curry dunk, he'll get a dunk on you. But that's going to be in transition. Very rarely you will see Curry drive the lane and get a dunk. He's going to get a shot because he's a shooter. He is the best shooter to ever play basketball. That has been publicized for sure. He is a shooter. He can shoot it from anywhere, any angle, off any leg, any time, any place, anywhere in the world. That is a fact. He made every other franchise start shooting hundreds of threes in a season. The two-pointer is no longer considered a good shot because of Curry. Now, in saying that, was Curry the first to do the things that he did? No. LeBron had been pulling up for 50-footers, 40-footers already by the time Curry got to his first finals. Curry can pass. He is not the true facilitator, not because he's incapable of doing it, but because that's not his biggest strength. His biggest strength is being able to put the ball in the cup shooting. And when you build teams and build franchises, you build them around your players' strengths. So that way the other things they do could be more impactful. Golden State did it right when they built that team around Curry. Golden State showed everybody in the world how to build a franchise from scratch through the draft. That's the blueprint. Greg Popovich showed you how to maintain a dynasty through self-sacrifice. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, who was that? Phil Jackson showed you how to dominate the league from the two wings and build around two great wings. The blueprints are there. Curry, man, he's a tremendous leader and the best shooter ever. And at some point, we'll be able to have the conversation of, is he one of the best scorers ever? But he has to hit us. I'm sorry. And this is what makes it so crazy. Because as long as LeBron plays, this is going to be hard for Curry to overcome. Can Curry get to 40,000 points? I don't know. Where he at? We got to find out. Can he get to 40,000 points? Because that's the plateau. Can Curry play another 4 or 5 seasons at this level and still put up 30 a game, 40 a game, and be considered a carrier franchise? We don't know. Can he? Is it possible? It's very possible. But can he? As it stands right now, Curry has never had to carry. He's never had to carry the franchise. Not by himself. He's had Clay and Dre and Steve Kerr over there for a very long time. LeBron, I don't even go back to LeBron yet. Hold on. I want to keep giving Curry his P's a little more. Curry's way of thinking, his approach to the game, his selflessness made a lot of other superstars on other teams come to play with him to win. Iguodala, Livingston, Durant. I mean, it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, who they had, my boy, they had David Lee over there. You know what I'm saying? They had Harrison Barnes. Like, A lot of guys willingly play second or third fiddle to Curry. That is a plus for Curry. That is something that you should be commending him for. Because even though he's not the biggest guy on the court, his game is so impactful that and his way about going to play the game is so impactful that other guys would gladly play second fiddle to that. The problem is no athletic wing outside of Clay and Dre. And Dre ain't really even athletic. Clay more athletic than him, and he ain't even all that uber athletic. Curry is absolutely the most athletic person on that team outside of, well, I guess he was. They got Jonathan Kuminga now. They got Moody down there. You know, they got guys that's very more athletic than Curry is. But Curry is deceptively more athletic than people give him credit for as well. The ability to move through certain little spaces, get the ball off, get it up to the rim. You rarely, I mean, in 14 years, I don't know if Steph Curry's shot been blocked more than 50 times in a 14-year career. I ain't saying the shot ain't never been blocked, but I don't think it's at triple digits. I don't know if they even record that, but if they even took it through the computer scans, I don't think you would find 100 times in his entire career a person has blocked his shot. That is a skill. That is a talent. So, you know, in saying all this about Curry, I don't never want people want to get it misunderstood. I don't hate Curry. I am a fan. I am more of a fan of Steph Curry than I am of LeBron James. But I am loyal to my hometown for whatever reason. I probably shouldn't. I am though. And I know exactly what type of hardships LeBron had to go through to get where he was at. Because I had to go through some of them same hardships and I didn't make it nowhere near where he's got. So I can look at that and say, like, bruh, like, you really don't know unless you was there. You know, I could probably try to nitpick at that, but for what? He did the job. He completed the assignment. Anybody who was from Cleveland, who grew up, all we ever wanted to do was make it so we can come back and shit on the whole league so they can stop disrespecting our city. Everybody feel like that. Everybody. Everybody in any other city feels like that too. So I don't understand why it's such a bad thing when Cleveland feel like that. This is what I'm saying about y'all being hypocrites. All right. I'm going to transfer it back over to the LeBron side of things before I start getting into the back and forth of both of them in this championship spurt. All right. So remember, LeBron's not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. Didn't LeBron go to 8 straight championships? Did he? I'm sorry. Did LeBron James, since y'all put everything on LeBron James, if you're going to try to go at him about stuff, why don't you highlight things that he actually did that he said he was going to do? Like he said he was going to bring Cleveland a franchise and a championship, and he did. Like he said he was going to go to 8 straight finals appearances, and he did. He'd have been to 10. LeBron had been to more championship finals as an individual than 95% of the franchises in the league. There are only 2 franchises that has been to the finals more than LeBron James as a player. He played 20 years. Didn't Kareem play 20 years? A lot of y'all older cats say Kareem to go. I don't have no debate if y'all say Kareem to go because Kareem is the only person that has a shot that has never been replicated and could never be stopped. That means something. His impact on the game plus his 10 championships. Like, come on, man. But he did play with Magic. And we ain't gonna act like that don't exist. He did play with Oscar. And we're not gonna act like that didn't exist either. All right. So LeBron went to the East. He get to the finals with this Cavs team that David Griffith dismantled. Right. Curry won their first matchup, and they rolled away. They came back the next year and mollywalked the league. Golden State dog walked the league. They dog walked everybody. Okay. And it was a lot of franchises that had Curry and them initial run broke up. Let me get this right. LeBron played the Thunder in the 2011-2012 finals with James Harden, Russell, and Russell and KD and Ibaka now. Was it the next season? I think it was that following off season James Harden got traded. I think it was that following off season. They lost in the finals. James Harden got traded. Part of me want to say it was a year gap in between that, though. Part of me want to say they went to the finals, they played another year, and then Harden got traded that offseason. Now, part of me want to say, I'm doing a lot of this off memory, y'all. Yeah, I could go right into here and look it up and Google it, and I feel you, and we all could do it. Don't get me wrong, but I a lot of this stuff I'll be going off just memory. I ain't gonna even hold you. So, but whatever the case, Curry started their run, and it was over with. That 73-9 team was a dog ass team. I know, just like the Patriots 16-0 season that'll never really get the publicity it's supposed to because they lost to the Giants to not go undefeated. It's kind of the same thing with this 73-9 team. They just, it'll always be an asterisk on that 73-9 because of LeBron. And I'm sorry, because of LeBron and Kyrie. No, actually, I'm going to give JR and Kevin Love their love too. I'm going to give Tristan Thompson his love too. I'm going to give Channing Frye his love. I'm going to give Mozgov his love. I'm going to give Dellavedova his love. Okay? I'm going to tell y'all why I'm going to give them their love. Because that 73-9 team was a dog-ass team, y'all. Hold on. I ain't got my camera up. Hold on. That team was fire. That team was molly-whopping teams. That team seemed indestructible. There's still remnants of that team today. The core of that team is still on the roster today. But that year, that team was a juggernaut. Oh my God, bro. Curry lost his mind. Okay? I'm going to say for like 4 straight years, Curry lost his fucking mind. He is the greatest shooter in history. He is the best shooter. It's not even debatable. Shoot off the dribble, shoot off the catch, shoot from distance, shoot consistently, shoot in the clutch. He is the best shooter in history. Is he the best clutch shooter in history? No. Is he the best shooter in history? Uncontestedly. Uncontestably. Right? We're going to just stretch it. I'm going to add a couple. Uncontestably. I know that's not even right. It may be supposed to be bleak. It's not even a word. Whatever the case, that's not up for debate. He's the best shooter ever. But LeBron is the best player to ever play this game. And if for no other reason LeBron is the best ever player to play in this game, that 73-9 team that everybody praises, why will they not be etched in history? Because they lost to LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, and that team came back from a 3-1 and won that championship. Ty Lue will always be considered one of the best coaches ever, as long as he coaches, because of that demonstration. And all he did was play the game properly. Why is Matthew Dellavedova a household name? Matthew Dellavedova is the only no-name and probably the only person to ever lock Curry up for a whole series. He locked Curry. Why did Dellavedova get $40 million for over 4 years from the Milwaukee Bucks? For one, because nobody wanted LeBron to keep all those pieces. Dellavedova was never worth $40 million. And he would have stayed with the Cavs and played the role that he had nobody not charged over him $40 million. Milwaukee never became nothing with Dellavedova. They just offered him that money so LeBron wouldn't have him. And in return, they got Giannis. I don't knock Milwaukee for doing it. Smart to me. But in return for Milwaukee making sure LeBron, just how much people attack LeBron, didn't have the guy that he could use against Curry, they had Milwaukee or paying $40 million and bury him on the bench. You can go look that up. Timothy Mozgov, the Draymond Green neutralizer, because that's all this was about. Timothy Mozgov in that series didn't allow Draymond to be as impactful defensively as he wanted to be. Which was why Cleveland, which was a big, those two people. Why did Mozgov get a 4-year, $52 million contract from the Lakers? So LeBron James wouldn't have the Draymond Green neutralizer that would just make it him versus Curry. And in return, the LA Lakers got LeBron James when he left LA. Look it up. Tell me it don't correlate. All right? Again, I'll highlight. These things happen because Cleveland as a franchise and as a city has no cachet. They have no leverage and impress or attraction. They have no leverage. Your organizations would be run funky, notoriously known for being run funky. The type of living there ain't really something you would vouch for. So it's easy to pick apart something that can't really fight back. Right? But they was playing chess. Got rid of Mozgov, lost Dellavedova, and couldn't find nobody to replace it. These guys just went to these different places, got all that money, and got buried on the bench. Right? And to sweeten the pot, they got Kevin Durant. So literally, the whole league attacked LeBron because he is an unstoppable force. This is part of the reason why he's the GOAT. Some people will say, well, why is the NBA trying to? He's not that important. Did y'all forget about the CBA that happened in the midst of him doing a decision and getting him back to Cleveland? Oh, I didn't mention the CBA. The CBA that forced the NBA to give players 50% of the earnings through salary. And that can't touch their endorsements off the court, have nothing to, their personal endorsements off the court have nothing to do with what they're getting paid from the franchises. LeBron spearheaded that. Because of LeBron's team that he brought up from his homeboys that he groomed and helped bring up with his cachet, his homeboys, his team, they did that. They studied the game. Shout out to people from that Northeast Ohio area. Hold on. You feel me? Like that was the whole tag. Cleveland, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? And this is what they won't tell you. If Cleveland had the weather, just the weather, if Cleveland had the weather of a Florida or a Cali or a Texas, that whole Northeast Ohio region, that whole little section of Cuyahoga, Summit, Lake, Geauga, that whole little section of counties would be the best place to stay in the entire world. I BS you not. It's literally because of the snow and the length of the snow and the length of a gloomy season combined with the corruption through the political game. These are the only two reasons why Cleveland ain't lit.
Bruh, it's May, and you know what was going on yesterday? When
It
I
was
walk
so.
out, when I walk out the house to go down the street, I walk down the street. It's raining. It's raining. When I get to the job spot, it's snowing on the ground. I walk down the street, and once I get to my job, though, it's snowing. It's raining over here. Get up the street, probably like 10 minutes away. Fucking snowing, snow everywhere, and it's
Snow.
May.
Who wants to be paid 100? Who wants to be 100, 200 millionaire living in a place where it could be 90 degrees or be super rainy or be 10 degrees snowing on any given day of the year? Ain't no section of season. And any given day, maybe even in the same day, it might be raining when you get up. It might start hailing by the time you leave out for work. By the time you actually get to work or you get an hour or two into work, it is literally snowing. Okay? It's going to snow. And then by the time you come out for lunch, the sun is out. The snow is melting. And by the time you make it home, it's 85 degrees at 4 o'clock. And then you get to 7, 8 when it started getting dark. And then it started getting chilly. Maybe, depending on the night. Because I swear to you, Cleveland got some of the best summer breeze you could ever experience in your life. Like everybody talk about summer breeze. Cleveland has one of the best summer breezes ever. It is so relaxing. It is so it's amazing. Anywhere in the city where you at, that summer breeze different. It breathes a different type of relaxation, a different type of mindset, a different type of calm. You know what I'm saying? No, you have to experience it to know. But yeah, they jumped LeBron and they jumped the Cleveland franchise because they didn't want to have a megastar in a small city like that. And all Dan Gilbert had to do to keep LeBron in the city was give him a piece of the pie. That's it. Let some of my people own part of the team. Let me get in on the money that y'all gonna do building up the lakefront with the casinos. Let me get in on some of this action that y'all gonna do rebuilding the Browns. You know what I'm saying? And I'll let y'all do whatever y'all gonna do up here as long as I can rebuild Akron. I'll be doing this up here. And they just didn't want somebody with that type of power to do it in a small little section like this. Because if he does that here, he becomes immortal. And I'll say this again, if LeBron does everything he's done in his career and he just does it in Cleveland, if Dan Gilbert doesn't such an a-hole and so racist, I'm just gonna say that shit. Racist as fuck. But if he ain't on this type of time, if he on that Pat Riley type of time, if he on that Genie Bus type of time, LeBron becomes immortal. You start singing songs about LeBron because not only did he change the way you play, he impact how people run their franchises. He impact how you pay players get paid. Players get more respect. Players have more freedom. Players can make more money off the court. He's also a dog on the court. And he did it with cats that he came up with. He don't got no love scandals for real, or he ain't out here with no DUIs or doing nothing crazy. He a father. And I ain't saying Curry not Curry some of these same things. Curry a lot of these same things. Don't get it twisted. He a lot of these same things. I ain't gonna say some, he a lot of these same things. I'm not knocking one for the other in this debate. But I am just trying to give a little more highlight in the process of, man, that Cuyahoga County, Lake County, Summit County section ain't as depressing as they try to make it seem
For
like.
people that don't know, LeBron is from the projects. It's a project baby. LeBron from one of the roughest spots in Akron.
That's a fact. Whole fact. Curry not from the projects, but he is. You got to just be there to understand. You got to be there to understand. You know what I'm saying? And out of all this debate, and you know, I'm gonna conclude that part of this section because there's some other stuff I don't want to get too far into. I'm gonna conclude this part of the section. It's just like, regardless you want to say, these two are shining examples of what type of products that you can get when nurtured from our little section of the country, our little section of the world. That little 330-440-216 section of this United States, these the type of products you can get when you nurture the talent that's there. You can get game-changing, record-breaking talent. So, this is the debate that sparked the conversation that I just had for like an hour and a half.
Oh, that ain't it.
It ain't that. You scroll right past it. Look,
They did something else, man.
let me get in here. All right, so Deuce Dutch.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to
Shout out to my
Deuce.
dog Deuce Dutch, man. Deuce Dutch.
Deuce
Diamond, man. Diamond Projects, Diamond, New York, man.
Okay.
Much love to my dog Deuce, man. First day I stepped my foot in them projects, man. He held me down like family. He ain't family, but you family. Much love to Deuce Dutch, but he be talking his shit. He be on LeBron head, bruh. And that's what this really about. He coming at LeBron, but yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. So the question is, what y'all mean it wasn't fair? It looks pretty fair to me. This is a half of a conversation. First off, the first thing that's half about this conversation is that Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala is not part of this equation. The fact that Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala is not a part of this conversation slants the conversation. If we're comparing NBA talent to NBA talent, he has a point. What you mean is not fair. When you're talking about the starting five, I'm going to emphasize the starting five. Okay? Because that's all he's showing. When you just emphasize the starting five, he has a point. But this is where controlling the narrative and you got to pay attention. Context matters. Okay? Kyrie Irving compared to Steph Curry. Now listen, y'all just heard me give him his praises and do all that. As a basketball talent, Steph Curry is not Kyrie Irving. The difference between Kyrie Irving and Stephen Curry is that a franchise actually built their team around who he is. And Kyrie Irving had to battle LeBron James. That is the difference. That is the difference. Because you cannot tell me if a franchise decided when Curry first came out the league to build their team around him and his skill set, that he wouldn't have a different type of conversation in this matter. Kyrie Irving can shoot from anywhere on the floor. He can score on anybody. I cannot say Steph Curry can score on anybody. I say he can shoot over anybody. But shooting is only one aspect of scoring. Kyrie can literally score multitude of ways over anybody. In the paint, off the dribble, off the glass, off the shot, off the catch, off the run. It does not matter. Off the standstill, off the triple threat. Kyrie at 6'3", 6'4", is unguardable. This is not even a debate. He is unguardable. We cannot say Steph Curry is unguardable. So in this respect, Deuce, you got a point. Klay Thompson and J.R. Smith, it's funny that these two are opposites. I will say the same thing I said about Kyrie Irving, I will say about J.R. Smith. The difference between J.R. Smith and Klay Thompson is somebody actually believed in them from the jump. J.R. Smith was drafted by the New Orleans. Oh, was it New Orleans at the time? The New Orleans Hornets. When Chris Paul was emerging, and he had David West, and he had Tyson Chandler, right? And all they needed was a wing. J.R. Smith was already a dog, just nobody wanted to believe in it. Now we can get into semantics of why people didn't want to believe in Kyrie and JR, but they wanted to believe in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But I'm sitting here and telling you that is the only difference between them four players. A franchise took a flyer on them, and a franchise didn't take flyers on them. Talent-wise, I can argue J.R. Smith has better game than Klay Thompson. J.R. Smith can score off the dribble, off the dunk, off the pass. He can shoot from anywhere on the floor. He can move without the ball and get his shot like Steph Curry can. J.R. Smith offensively is a dog, and J.R. Smith plays defense. I can argue J.R. Smith is just as good as defender as Klay Thompson. That is arguable. In this sense, Deuce, you have a point. LeBron James versus Kevin Durant. We don't even have to go into the semantics. You can pick whoever you want. You're not wrong. They even out. Kevin Love versus Draymond Green. Draymond Green will never, ever be the offensive juggernaut that Kevin Love is. But Kevin Love will never be the defensive juggernaut that Draymond Green is. And it's different, but it's the same. Draymond Green is not going to always get the most steals. He's not going to always get the most blocks. He's not going to always get the most rebounds. He's not going to always get the most assists. He's not going to always get the most points. However, he can consistently lead your team every night in blocks, steals, rebounds, and assists. He can do that. That is impactful. He can orchestrate and run your defense and come down and run your offense without scoring the ball. That is a talent. That is a skill. His IQ for the NBA is high. It may not be LeBron James's, but you can argue that it's somewhat up there. Okay? Kevin Love, offensively, he can shoot from anywhere. He can post. He can pass. He can outlet. He can rebound. But he'll never lead your team in steals and blocks. Ever. In a respect, they cancel out. And this is where Deuce really kind of hit home with this lineup. And this is why at the beginning I said, context matters. Okay? Tristan Thompson versus Jaja Pachulia. The difference is Jaja's bigger. That's really the same player. Do the dirty work, set the tough screens, battle with people in the paint, get you blocks and steals, can step out on the perimeter and at least make it difficult for another player. And if the player can get over him, it's probably a superstar. When you compare this lineup, especially at that time in their careers, to the other lineup, he has a point. Starting five for starting five, it was fair. Where it's not fair, it starts when you compare benches. And when you could bring Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston off your bench, I don't care who's on the other bench. That right there alone is overkill. You got all those shooters with them two defensive guys, and then you bring two guys who can get their own mid-range shot and defend at a high level to come in for Dre and Jaja. He should have put the death lineup up there. Now, had he put it up there with Iggy, Durant, and Dre, or Iggy, Durant, and Sean Livingston with Stephen
Like
Curry.
the comments going crazy. They going crazy on them in the comments. Like, bro, you forgot about what they had on the bench. Like the comments.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Hey, but for the people that's not watching, for the ones that's gonna be listening on the radio, read that lineup that he got up there for him.
Oh, so the lineup that he has is for the Cavaliers. You got the lineup of Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson. Compared to the lineup for Golden State Warriors of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and Zaza Pachulia. This is a 2017 lineup because I don't think Jaja was there in 2018. And yeah, 2017. Was the first year after LeBron beat them coming back from 3-1. LeBron's one championship against them is equal to the other 3 that Curry has against LeBron. That one. That alone makes LeBron better than Curry. That alone. Your 3 championships against him don't equal up to the one he got against you. We gonna end that debate there and this lineup there. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming over multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streaming, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, and then when you go in there, you can find a Game Changer Sports Talk show with DeeTrynt. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, subscribe there as well. Before we get up out of here, though, we gotta talk about my Browns. Can I get some type of Brown images up here? You know what I'm saying? Preferably a picture of the new signing, Rodney McLeod, and or a picture of Frank Clark. All right. The Browns made a signing today. The Browns signed Rodney McLeod to a 1-year deal. Rodney McLeod is a veteran safety who played with new defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz in Philadelphia. Last year, he played with the Colts. He is a veteran guy who knows how to win, who knows what type of defense the coach wants to play, that can play either safety position, that can play in a box and play decent enough in coverage, even though he may not have all the athletic skill sets and he's older now. But he comes in playing behind Juan Thornhill, who's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and young Grant Delpit, who is our home pick star. So that was crazy shot. So I'm sorry, I lost my thought. So I like the signing, right? I feel like that brings some veteran leadership and accountability to a team that doesn't have to come from a main star. I feel like he can impact not only that room.
You talking about Rodney right now, right?
Yeah, but the other guys, the other backups that come and play. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to be a backup, but he's been a starter before. I want to say he was a starter on that Super Bowl team with Malcolm Jenkins, but I had to research that. But that's a guy that's going to really be a rock for that team, hopefully. So it's a pleasure to have you, Rodney. Thank you for choosing to come on over here. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of talent around you, so you should be able to definitely do a few things. People say that he'll be the one that they move around in the box, but in my opinion, this lets me know that Jim Schwartz is going to move Grant Delpit around. Grant Delpit is the guy that's going to be checking safeties, that's going to be playing in the slot if they go 3 safeties. It's going to be Grant Delpit because he's the most athletic out of all of them. On top of that, it makes the most sense because Juan Thornhill and Rodney McLeod already are virtually veteran winning guys that really know how to own their positions. So a more athletic guy like Grant Delpit, who's still growing, still uber energetic, uber athletic, really coming to his own now, a couple years removed from the injury. that came out his first year. It would just make more sense to use him more as a weapon like you got. People say, Browns, what you gonna do for the linebacker position? Then we get the news that Patrick Queen from the Ravens and Isaiah Simmons from the Cardinals will not have their fifth year options picked up by their teams. So you think like, okay, Schwartz may go for one of them. Then the news breaks earlier today that Glenville's own Frank Clark, former teammate of newly signed Juan Thornhill, from the Kansas City Chiefs. Clark may come home. Clark, there is a strong belief, and this is just a report, there's a strong belief that Frank Clark will sign with the Browns in the next upcoming weeks to join his buddy Juan Thornhill and play for the hometown team he grew up rooting for. Multiple Super Bowl champion, a guy who's been very successful in this league and would be the perfect complement, maturity-wise, athletic and skill-wise, cachet-wise, to Myles Garrett. And with Dalvin Tomlinson down there now and the drafting the Siaki Ika, you give Frank Clark down there, and now you're giving Jim Schwartz the exact type of defensive line that he looks to have. With that being said, we did sign Obo, Obanaya Akawankwo from the Texans. I could see him playing a little more linebacker than people thought because he's a former linebacker. He could play both. So it is very, very possible that if this is what happens, then that might be another side solution for the linebacking core. And don't count out Andrew Berry's savvy. Could he pull off a Patrick Queen or Isaiah Simmons trade? I mean, Isaiah Simmons would be the ideal target because Isaiah Simmons hasn't done anything to warrant a big contract up to this point in his career. And he still has a lot of potential and talent. But you put him with Joker and Phillips, with Walker and them, and Obo, you kind of got something, man. So shout out to the Browns, man. They're doing on that defense what I said was one of the things they needed to do, and they needed to add a veteran leadership to this defense to go with these young guys, and they needed to shore up that middle of the defense. Shoring up the defensive tackles and getting defensive linemen that can really impact the ball is what you want to do. It helps out your corners. It opens up holes for your linebackers to shoot the gaps and allows your safeties to actually play safety versus playing red alert desperation. So there's a presser coming up with Andrew Berry in about 10 minutes. I know a lot of people want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you get on the spaces or you could definitely catch it on YouTube. It seems like Cleveland fixing their audio problems now. You can actually hear everything kind of better. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. We're going for like 2 hours, man. I appreciate it, man. Curry versus LeBron debate, a little bit of Cavs, a little bit of Browns, a little bit of NBA playoffs, and a little bit of history. It was a pleasure rocking with y'all, man. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. Twitter as well. If you missed the live streaming, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, and then when you get in there, you can subscribe to the Game Changer Sports Talk Show with DeeTrynt. And like, subscribe, share with that as well. But you can definitely follow us on the Facebook pages and Twitch and the YouTube pages. You can do the same thing. Go to the Industry Sports channel. All right. Look for the Game Changer Sports Talk Show. Just subscribe to the whole Industry Sports channel, period. Because it's a lot of content y'all like up there, man. Local content. If you got stuff that you would like to be highlighted, man, you could definitely hit us up. Email DeeTrynt@gmail.com, InDaStreetzSportz@gmail.com. You got the InDaStreetzSportz.com website. You can see the latest articles and things like that. So man, mess with us, man. Rock with us. But I cannot end this show without saying a big 18th shout out birthday to my baby girl. She is turned 18 today. You know what I'm saying? And she about to graduate, you know what I'm saying, on the top of her classes. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my baby girl. Daddy love you. You know what I'm saying? Super uber proud of you. You've been everything and more. And you deserve the world. So, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the birthday shout outs and all that, too. You all be easy, be good. Check out that Browns presser now that we got another signing. And let's see what's going on, man. I'm going to holler at y'all. One.